Hello, welcome back to Audiophile. I'm Rick Schultz from High Fidelity Cables. I wanted to share a product with you that is one of the best tweaks that I've found. Now, tweaks can be very expensive, tweaks can be very inexpensive. We tend to cover a lot of things that you can do that don't cost a lot of money. However, that's not the protocol. Some of the things that we go through may be fairly expensive. However, all of the things that we try to recommend are of really good value. And one of the best value products that I've found in the market is a product called Audio Points. Now, Audio Points are also relatively inexpensive. Starting at around $39, you can get the Audio Point. The Audio Point basically is a brass point that you can put underneath your equipment. It comes in that category of cups, cones, and footers. So it was one of the original products onto the market, if not the original. Basically what you do with an Audio Point is you'd take the original footers that came with your equipment, you'd bypass them, and you'd put your equipment instead on these points. Now if you had rubberized type feet, we often recommend that you take those kind of feet off, because you want your chassis to be able to go ahead and vibrate and resonate as much as possible with this particular technology. And how does this technology work? Well, basically what happens is you have vibration within your equipment that happens primarily because of something called induction. Induction is the spinning magnetic field in alternating current that actually builds an AC waveform. So inside of your components, one of the things that works highly off induction is something called a transformer. And a transformer uses this spinning magnetic field to be able to create energy from one coil that's not electrically connected to the next coil of wires. It basically just transfers the information over. So in order to be able to make Audio Points successful, you need to have noise in the first place. That noise doesn't really come from your speakers playing or trying to isolate it from other components and that sort of stuff. The noise is actually inside the component itself, and it's trying to go somewhere. Often it will find the circuit itself and use that as a sink in order to be able to dissipate. And when it does that, it's going to add distortion. So what these little devices do is try to give that mechanical vibration a place to go so that you don't have to worry about vibrations. Now, a lot of the other cups and cones and footers isolate in a completely different way. In fact, almost every product on the market is designed to be able to isolate your product and contain the vibration within it so that it's not going and affecting other devices. However, that leaves that vibration inside the component in order to be able to start making mechanical vibrational noises and causing distortion. And that happens through a process called microphonics. So basically, when you're trying to take and eliminate that, one of the best materials that is out there for being able to transfer the mechanical noise is brass. Brass is made with all sorts of different things like instruments and horns, and it happens to have really wonderful properties for resonation or vibration. So what you do in order to be able to use an Audio Point, which you can find if you Google Audio Points or go to starsound.com, you can take something like a component. I'm going to use this guy here, but you can clearly see my CD player in front of me, and you can see the brass points that I've got underneath. And basically what those are is those brass points come with something like this, which, if you can see it clearly, has a nice threaded rod that on the end of the point that allows you basically to thread the audio point up inside of your components. And those threads are available in a multitude of different types of sizes so that you can get basically a thread that will fit your audio gear. One of the best places for Audio Points is underneath your loudspeakers. They typically come with steel points, and just like in our brass screw tweak episode when we showed you that brass works a whole lot better than steel when it comes to screws to mount loudspeakers, this is true as well. Brass works a whole lot better underneath components than you'll find that steel does. And with this technique of being able to try to get the vibrations out, it actually works a whole lot better than any other cup, cone, or footer that I've ever come across. So one other neat little product that's added to the list is Audio Points also makes this very cool product. And what it is a record clamp. And basically what you do is you just put it over the spindle in the middle of your record, and it sits on top like that, and it spins with your record, and it helps to deal with mechanical vibrations on your turntable. These are a very good little device, and I highly recommend them. Audio points come in all different types of sizes, which I think I've already discussed. But this little guy here would be perfect for something like my little iFi device. Now, an iFi is not going to create a lot of vibration. You're probably not going to hear a whole lot going on in this because the voltage is just so low. However, if you were to put it on there, you probably would pick up something. So I would recommend that you would use it on larger components and larger electronics like standard DACs and CD players, amplifiers, and speakers. When you do that, you're going to hear large audible differences. In order to use the audio point, what you basically need is 3 of them. If you're replacing your original cups and cones and footers that come with it, then you probably would want to go to the threaded style, and most of those come with 4 points. So you want to make sure that you get 4 points when you order them, and the right thread. Now, in order to just balance them on, which is the popular way of doing it, you need 3 of them. And basically what you do is you put your component, you pick it up a little bit, and you slide your audio point underneath your component and balance it on 3 of these audio points. So you'd need to be able to grab another one, put it into the front, grab another and put it into the back. And as you let go of that, your little device will just float on top of those 3 audio points. Now, a lot of times you'll be able to see underneath your equipment that there's a transformer inside, and it will be represented by a bigger screw than most of the rest of them because it's designed to be able to hold a fairly large transformer. Now, transformers cause just a lot of vibrations, and they're a great place to target. If you can find your transformer, you're going to want to put one of the audio points directly underneath the transformer, and put the other 2 wherever in the chassis you can get so that it balances nicely. When you use audio points, you're going to find that they're really an impressive product. And if you want to go farther with this, Star Sound does make racks that work much better. Basically what it does is it interconnects your audio points upwards and downwards so that you get a very effective platform that is able to take the vibration out of things like loudspeakers and electronics, and it does just a miraculous job. And I say miraculous because I've used this product for probably going on around 15 years, and I've been just super impressed with it. I've tried all sorts of cups and cones and footers, and some of them I like to a certain degree, but nothing ever came close to audio points. I want to highly recommend audio points as your tweak of the day, and I'm Rick Schultz. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of the Audiophile.